Rapidísimo.
Listo. Let's get ready.
Yeah, ready.
Wonderful. Hello, hello, everyone. Welcome. Happy Tuesday? Is today Tuesday?
Yeah.
Yes, it's Tuesday. Welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. We're excited to be here live streaming this webinar. We're gonna give just a couple of minutes till everything's set up and hopefully some people join. And then we'll kick it off. So welcome, welcome everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. I'll start with a little introduction. For those of you that are new to us, to Esperança, welcome to our town hall series. My name is Ana Carolina Ortiz, and I am the Global Health and Development Director for Esperança. Esperança is a global health nonprofit based in Phoenix with a focus on culturally competent and sustainable programming. Esperança serves in 7 different countries, working in partnership with grassroots NGOs to implement lasting change. And I have the executive director of one such organization here with me today, Victorino. He is the executive director of Avodak. And would you please introduce yourself, Victorino?
Thank you, Ana. Thank you for inviting me to this session and share with your donors and our donors, I mean, the experience and also our work. I have been working with Avodak for 22 years, 23 years, and doing a lot of work. I studied business administration and also economy, and I have been working for community development for all my life. So thank you for being here.
Well, thank you so much for joining us and for sharing your experience with us, and for so many years of partnership. And I think today, you know, this webinar is really to focus on the power and impact behind the water program that Avodak has. So if you could tell us a little bit about why focus on access to clean water in Nicaragua.
Well, Nicaragua is a country with more than 5 million of people. More than half of the people is living in rural community. And maybe 70% of these people in rural communities have no water. So Nijinotega is in the north part of Nicaragua, and most of these people is rural, so they don't have water in their home. We have been making diagnostics, surveys, and also asking to the community people, and all time the main need is water, and also sanitation or housing. For that reason, we have been focused on in our program for water and sanitation as one of the main main program for Avodak.
Thank you so much for sharing that. And help us paint a picture for our audience today. How is Avodak's water program different from others? What makes it so successful? What makes it stand out?
Well, Avodak have a program that is, I think that is one of the most efficient program that we have. If we compare with other programs in Nicaragua, we have been building projects with less money, I mean. That is because we are involving the community in their projects. All the inversion in labor, I mean spring cost, and also the permisos, the people in the community is doing that. So our technical team are making topographic studies and also designing and estimation for the projects. So the donation that we are asking for projects, water projects, are used for materials, equipment, or transportation. And in that way, the cost is very low. I have seen with, for example, in Nicaragua, the government department that is building water, they make a water system same like we are doing, find time the cost. So I think that's one of the difference that we have. Also, our program is responding to the need that our people in the communities are identifying. In that way, we got more enthusiasm for the community and also compromiso to the program. I think that the difference of our program is that this program generate more impact in the people through their own work and also maximizando the resources.
I agree. I think that one of the coolest part of the work that you guys do is the community involvement, because it's their responsibility to build part of it. They become owners of it, right? Not just physically, but also like emotionally, socially, you know, all those things. So I think I agree. I've seen it in action, and it's pretty powerful to see a community come together to fulfill their own needs. And can you tell us a little bit about, maybe give us an example of one of these families? How does access to clean water transform a family's life?
Oh, there is many ways that a family can be transforming with our program. In Nicaragua, it's culturally know that women and children, especially girls, are in charge of getting the water for home. That type of culture in the people take to the kids the time to go to the school, or to the women's, they take the opportunity to work for other types of labor to generate income, or including their own care. For that reason, when we got water homes, it takes the dynamic of the family, especially the women and children, because they give more time for their own activities, and it is good for them because they improve their own quality of life and also the self-esteem. And also another, for the other side, the water in home improve the health of the families and reducing the diseases that are waterborne, or and also improve the economy of the family because they don't have to spend money in their own health or going to the health post. I have seen, for example, a family, an old girl, an old woman that always looks sick, and I mean, very, I mean, very sad. And when we get water to their home, she got younger. She got like look younger and also very more dynamics. And that was because the water, just for because the water was healthier to her.
That's really incredible. I mean, I know that maybe to some of our audience that can be a little bit hard to believe, but I have seen it myself as well, where, you know, it just in the person's demeanor, it brings dignity back into the home of not having to to run to the river to get water, or not having to spend half your paycheck on getting clean water in the home, but knowing that your community worked for it, and now because of that you have clean water in your home. It's a big deal. And I remember talking to some of the women, and some of the super simple things that I never even would have thought of. I remember they mentioned that because they have water in their home now, they can plant fruit trees and water the fruit trees and have fruit for their children, or if they want to sell the excess fruit, you know, it just brings more possibilities. So thank you for sharing that.
Welcome.
How about, could you tell us a little bit about the sustainability model of the water program? Like, how is it structured and why is it structured in that way?
Sustainability is one of the focus part that we are having in our program. Our model for the water program is based on 3 parts. I can say that 3 parts in this equals part. I mean, no one is main, 3 of them are important, same. For one of them is the participation of the community, how the community get property of the projects. And that we got that involving the community in the construction of the system. That is when they are supporting labor, also transporting materials, including economic or financial support. Sometimes we ask for 10% of the cost of the project. So in that way, they got involved in the project and they got property of the project. The second part is the organization itself. We got that through the water and sanitation committee. This is a committee from the community. In that committee is legal. In Nicaragua, we had a law for water committee, so they got a legal personality, and they are in charge of the administration of the system, and they secure the functioning of the system in a right way. The third part is the administration through the tarifa. This is like the cost they have to pay is through the micrometer. In that way, each home have a micrometer, and they have to pay the specific cost. They already have like an agreement in how much it will cost depending on the cost of administration. And also they have to pay a fixed cost in case that they don't consume nothing. So the water committee have resources to give maintenance and also to keep working the system. I have seen a water committee that in 10 years, for example, have enough resources to improve or build annexes to the system in order to serve more people in the community.
That's awesome. I think that's one of the parts of the program that excites me the most, is that it's built in a way that it feeds itself, that these systems make money, but not for the sake of making money, more so just to improve and make sure that the system keeps running properly, right? Thank you for that, yeah. Can you also tell us a little bit about how, in your experience, the water program has opened doors to working with communities on other issues?
Oh yes, projects of water are very participative programs. So when the technicians and also the water committee is working in a new project, there are the people of the community also working together hand to hand, building all the components of the projects. They are participating in, say, workshops or meetings, or also moving, doing all the type of work that they need to do. And that are spaces where the people create joinings. So they have friendships, mutual friendship, and also trust between them. And that's conditions create facilities to talk about other situations that the community have, including personal situations, and they got trust in the technician, they got trust in the team of the organization. Sometimes when I go to the communities, there are people that get to me and try to talk about different situations. This is like a priest. I have to listen then, and they want me to give an answer or an advice and what to do and how to do in a particular situation. And this is something interesting that I am outside of the community, but I have that trust to talk about that situation. For example, people that have cancer, for example, I have seen people, women with cancer, they don't talk to nobody in the community. Sometimes they don't go to the doctor because it's like a taboo, but they come to me or to the technician to try to get some help or some advice. And in that way, we have been able to give follow-up to that situation of health of some particular person. And sometimes we have sent them to a unit of health to provide a special treatment. That's one example of how the water program got the opportunity to take other important teams in the community.
That's awesome. I think that, to me, that says a lot about the reputation that Avodak has built throughout the region. The trust, as you mentioned, that they have in you and the team, that, you know, like you said, they treat you almost like a priest. Whenever they see you, they just start telling you all their problems, because they trust you and because they know you do good quality work, and you've been around, you've been consistent, you've been there for them. So I think that says a lot in itself.
Yes, it is. It's like it's the vínculo that we get with the community, because they know that we are trying to do a good thing for them. That's that thing I guess.
That's awesome. Your answer made me think of a different question, which is, can you tell us a little bit about what agencies you have been able to partner with because of this trust and relationship you have with communities? Have you worked with other international agencies or even government agencies to move this work forward?
Yes, during the years, we have been able to work with other organizations, including, well, Esperança is our partner organization from 20 years. From 2001, we started that partnership that has been one of our blessing, I mean, because we feel like a part of Esperança here in Nicaragua. We are Esperança in Nicaragua. So in that way, we have been able to do a lot of work. But also we have been able to get financial support for water and other projects too with other agencies. For example, Inter-American Foundation, long ago, they support us with a program for family gardens, and also we have another program with Entraide en Fraternité from Belgica, and they are supporting agroecologic program. And Also, for water and sanitation, we got support from Embassy of Japan in one time. And also we have been supported by St. Edward Church and other friends like Just for Water, and also Peter Bojovic is a good friend that has been supporting time to time. And small NGOs from France, they support also a water project a few years ago. But most of the money that we have been receiving for water project have been through Esperança, I think.
What about any local organizations that you have partnered with?
For water and sanitation, or
I mean, just in general, like, have you worked with government agencies or?
Yes, we have been partnered in Nicaragua with other NGOs, also working in Jinotega area. We have a good relationship, for example, with the Minister of Health or the program that is health, and also with the City Hall. But for supporting with funds, had been no from Nicaragua. Most of the people here, most of the organizations here are working together, but no providing support, financial support.
And you kind of started talking about this a little bit, but I wanted to ask you to go into a little bit more detail in telling us how the water program, but also Avodak in general, has been impacted by the partnership with Esperança.
Well, as I said before, Esperança is our partner for the long 20 years. And we have been impacting mainly because the role of leadership that Esperança has been taking on financial supporting to get the financial support for water project or for other projects too, like medical teams and also for the agriculture program. That is a collaboration based on trust and respectful, and also compromise for both parts, because we have been able to join our effort in different projects, especially for water. We have been able to support more than 2,000 families with water, more than 300 families with sanitation, together with Esperança. Also, one of the important things for the program with Esperança is that Esperança have a flexibility with the supporting of resources, financial resources, because we have the opportunity to use your support, support, like to feed other need that we have to complete or complement the projects that we are building. If we need use part of these funds for example, pay an study for water, we have just to put in our plan, and you are able to do that. That's how the trust that Esperança have in Avodak work is one of the key for the impact of the project that we are designing. Today, in the water project, for example, we have been able to work more than 40 water systems. Some of them have been electrical supported, or others have been by gravity, including we have been building a water system with solar energy. That is something like innovation. And I could say that more than 60% of the funds that we have been receiving for water have been through Esperança. That is a lot of money.
Yeah.
It's a lot of time too, because 2009 we started work for water and also loyalty. I think Esperanza also have been supporting for studies. I remember the time when you came to work in our water systems to make a study for water, and also giving support in techniques and also training to do, for example, water test or to know the quality of the water. That has been giving us a more technical capacity and also improving the service that we are giving to the communities. In that way, we got better results with our program. I think the most important part that Esperanza has been impacting in all our work is the being on the time. I mean, because during the time, we have good and bad time. I mean, sometimes are easy, sometimes are difficult. But Esperanza always has been with us during these more than 20 years. And that's why I would like to say thank you to Esperanza and also to the donors that through Esperanza have been able to support our organization and also to the people in our community.
That's wonderful. Yeah, I think that's one of the unique things of our model is that you referred to it in your answer, that because we've been partners for so long and we know each other so well and our organization so well, we're able to support you at an institutional level. And I think that's pretty uncommon in the nonprofit world, at least, where, you know, organizations can support each other financially without restricting the funds for specific projects, right? So that gives you the flexibility you need to get the work done that you need to get done, and to also leverage those funds that you know you're going to get every year to attract other support.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit, what else would you like our audience to know about Avodak's work?
Oh, okay, what can I say? Is well, I would like to know that our work, our organization is based on more than 900 volunteers, community leaders that live in our community, rural communities. All those people are volunteers that are worried about the well of the families in each community. They, when we get a new program there, they are involved and also coordinating or giving follow-up to the project that we are executing. Also, it's good that our donors know that we are working also at an agroecologic program, that we are promoting new techniques or good technique for production, same, using bioenzyme, and also promoting ecologic irrigation systems that use solar energy. That also that we have a program for health that include pediatrics service, general consultation, and also dental service. The three programs that Avodak is doing during these days are focused on the communities and rural communities where our members or community leaders that are volunteers are working. In that way, we have a presence in the community and also the involving of the people in our program.
It's a pretty well-rounded organization, if you ask me. You do a little bit of everything, and it's all tied to the priorities of the communities, right?
Yeah.
That's wonderful. I did want to say out loud that if you have any questions, please pop them into the Q&A so that when we get to that point, we can ask Victorino to answer some questions from the audience. Don't be shy, but just type them in the Q&A box. Could you tell us a little bit about what are the current needs of the water program and what can the public do to help?
Yeah, in our water program there are a lot of needs and also, well, things that people can do. I think that one of the interesting things for our program could be getting a vehicle, for example, could be a good opportunity for improve our service in the communities. But you have to know that we have a lot of need and also demand in our communities. By this date, we have more than 25 communities that are asking for water programs. That's mean more than $1.5 million of dollars. That's a lot of money to try to supply those needs. And we have been able to talk with the foundation, Fundación Kemper. They tell us that they were able to maybe support $200,000 yearly if we can get a matching fund to get that. That could be less if the people, the donors could support including a small amount to like a fund, matching fund that can be administered by Esperança. And in that way, we could double that amount. I think, for example, if each donor could provide, for example, $5,000 yearly to a fund for water project in Nicaragua, we could get from Fundación Kemper the 50% or 50-50 for a big project. Of course, that could be like just a wish, a good wish that we would like to do in the future. And in that way, we could change life in many communities with a big project. Also, of course, people, public could support our program with technical assistance or giving training on equipment of new technologies that can be used for water system. A few days ago, we were able to talk with a friend from Green Empowerment that were training us about the new techniques for simultaneous that is techniques used to evaluate water systems.
Oh, cool.
And that's something interesting for our team. So we involve our 3 technician team. So they were participating in that training. That could be an easy way to support our program. And of course, any financial, economic, or technical support is welcome in our program. We only need to know in advance what or who wanna help us, and we can just connect with that program. That could be a good option to support our program and be part of the life of the people in our communities.
That's wonderful. I love it. So you heard it. If you want to do something to help, Victorino just named off a couple options for you. Economic, always donations help. You heard that there's a waiting list of 25 communities waiting for a water system. So financial always helps. Technical support always helps. And you can always reach out to us to see how we can make that happen. We are getting some questions in the queue, so I'm gonna read them real quick. Can you tell us a little bit about how, you mentioned there's a waiting list of 25 communities. How do you select which communities to work with?
Yeah, as I said before, we have volunteers that live in communities, rural communities. So they meet with the people in the community if they identify the need of water, and they have trained already to know that they have to get a few steps before come to our office to ask for a project. One of them is that they have to get a water stream. That water stream has to be legal for the community. I mean, they have to have a notarial document that say that the spring is for use of the community. If they got that, they can come to the office with a asking letter, and we put in our list. When we got that, we had to go to the community and check if the community got the requirement that we're asking, and we select the water spring. I mean, we make a rapid test with our kit that we have, and also we talk to the community and explain that they had to put a label, and they had to put part of the, 10% sometimes or less, and also that they had to use micrometer, then they had to use a water committee. If they are agree, that's one of the committees that is in our list for the program.
Awesome, thank you so much. Another question, we have someone in the audience that has volunteered in the area. They were a public health brigade volunteer with Global Brigade. So they're asking if you've ever partnered with Global Brigades.
Yes, we have been in the past, we were working with Global Brigade in a couple of communities. I remember, for example, Naranjo, and also La Ermita. It was one of the projects where we were working with Global Brigade. And also El Atillo. It's one of the projects that we work together with Global Brigade.
That's awesome. Thank you so much for the question. We have another question here. How long have you been working with water projects, and how many water projects do you think you've completed to date?
Yes, we started working with water project in 2007. Was our first water projects, and today we have been building more than 40 water systems. But also we have been building water wells. That was another option of mitigating water's need. In the beginning, we were building water wells for 3 or 5 families. So we built around 40 water wells too before.
That's awesome. We have a third question here. What has been some of the most rewarding feedback you've received or seen about one of these completed water projects?
Excuse me, the most
rewarding feedback.
Yeah, it's I think that the most interesting feedback that we receive from the communities is that the exchange life of the people. The water change the life of the people, I think, is the most important feedback. That was the question?
Yeah. Do they mention how it changes their lives, or?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think that people change life because it's because many things. It's like a new way of living after having water in home. They change. I think they change as I said before, health, sanitation conditions, but and of course the relationship in home. It's many changes that are together, but they can say that it's a different life after having water in home.
That's awesome. Thank you so much for the questions. They're still coming in. I have another one here for you. The question is, how would you reach the residents in need since they live in underserved areas? Or any local organization has been doing the work to connect you with those communities?
No, mainly we have been resting on the volunteers. Because Avodak is an organization spread in all the communities. It's the people, the volunteers, the leaders that are connecting with the need. But time to time, we have been asking for the city hall, for example. In the last 3 months, we received from the city hall a couple of communities that are in need of water. In other time, we talk with other organizations and they recommend a community where they have identified need of water. But most of the communities have been selected because a member of the organization, a volunteer, is in the community that are asking for a water system.
Right, so I think the way that Avodak functions through its network of volunteers in each community, I think that's the definition of grassroots, right? You don't need someone to connect you because you're already in the community. You have a presence there through these volunteer leaders.
Yes, that's it, because we work through the network of the volunteers and they live in their communities. And one important thing is that we need to have a volunteer in the community to be monitoring the projects. In that way, if there is no volunteers, it's more difficult that we decide to do a project there.
Do you want to, I think it's also, it's embedded in your name, but oftentimes we don't say the full name. But do you want to tell us what Avodak stands for?
Oh yes, Avodak means Association of Volunteers for Community Development. It is an organization, Nicaraguan organization that was built in 1998. And we start with 13 volunteers and now we are more than 900.
900?
900.
Oh my God. So that's how you're able to get all the work done, because you have 900 volunteers.
Many,
So impressive.
It's big. Kind of big.
Yeah, super impressive. Well, thank you everyone so much for those wonderful questions. I hope that we were able to answer them and get you a little bit more clarity on Avodak and the water program and all the things that we do. Thank you so much, Victorino. This was really, really fun. I really enjoyed chatting with you and getting to share more about the water program and the great work that you're doing in Nicaragua.
Thank you, Anna, and thank you, Jerry and Elena too, for helping us in this introduction, and the donors, of course, that have been listening to us. Thank you for your generosity and sharing your resources to our projects. Thank you.
Thank you all so much. And keep an eye out for more invitations to upcoming webinars. We're going to keep this series going. So we'll hope to see you soon.
Thank you.